Hey y'all, it's Alex from You Should Craft, and today I'll show you how to make these bow coffee sleeves or cup holders or cup cozies, whatever it is that you call them. This is day 8 of my Newbie series, so if you're following along, keep that in mind, and if you're not, you should be. This is an awesome beginner project, and the Newbie series has lots of cool beginner projects, so you can sign up through the link in the description. Alright, so in order to crochet this, you'll need one of the little bows that we made earlier this week. If you haven't made one yet, I do have a video tutorial. I'll link that in the description as well. You'll also need your H 5mm crochet hook and your worsted weight yarn. I'm using Bravo worsted and a crochet hook from the We Crochet Bright set. And then you'll need some standard notions like scissors, one stitch marker, and your tapestry needle. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so to get started, you're just going to crochet a chain like you normally do. Sorry, I'm just kind of spinning this. So start with your slip knot, get your chain going, and set up your yarn however you found most comfortable for you to hold it. And I'm going to chain 30. So go ahead and pause the video and finish up your starting chain. Again, I'm going for 30. So I've crocheted a starting chain with 30 stitches, but you might notice that it is not round. So the next step that we're going to do, and be careful to make sure that your chain is not twisted when you do this, but we are going to join our last chain to our first chain, so you can go into both loops on the top. So to do a slip stitch, we've got our loop that's from that final chain and then both loops from our starting chain. And I yarn over, and I'm just going to pull through all the loops on my hook. And that's it. And so from here, you're going to keep going the way that you would normally go if you were doing a row of single crochets, which we basically are. So I chained 1. I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. And I will just single crochet around my chain. So this is exactly the same as if we were single crocheting on a straight chain. The only difference is that we joined the end. So it will be a little bit different when we reach the part where we started from. So go ahead and keep crocheting around this chain, keeping in mind that you should end up with 30 stitches. And then pause when you get back to where you started, and I'll catch up with you there to show you what to do next. So I'm just finishing up the very last single crochet in round 1. Here is my last stitch from row 1, and here's my starting chain, and here is my my very first single crochet from round 1. So I'm going to insert my hook into both loops, and I will single crochet on top of that first stitch. So now that's the first one in round 2, and you'll insert your stitch marker to keep your place. So I have just finished round 2, and here is my first stitch from round 1. So I'm going to undo my stitch marker, insert my first single crochet, and then again I'll put my stitch marker on the first stitch of that round just so I can keep my place. So you'll do this as you go around. So I'm on round 3 of the coffee sleeve. You are going to keep going and just single crocheting all the way around in continuous rounds until you have 12 rounds total. So go ahead and pause the video and wrap up your crocheting, and I'll catch back up with you to show you how to finish off your cozy or sleeve, whatever you want to call it. All right, so I've reached the end of the 12th round, and I got a little ahead of myself and already trimmed my yarn. But you're going to finish up by doing a slip stitch on top of the first stitch from the previous row. So remember, we insert our hook into both loops, and then you're going to pull that loop through both of the loops on your hook, and then pull your yarn all the way out. You can take out the stitch marker and put on your tapestry needle. So our next step is to do something called the invisible join. And the invisible join basically creates a fake top of a stitch so that the end of our project blends in with the rest of our project. So you will skip the next stitch because that's the one that we're kind of imitating with our join. So the one that's 2 ahead, so 1, 2, insert your tapestry needle into both loops, pull it through, and then put your tapestry needle through the top of the last stitch that you crocheted. So for us, it's that slip stitch, and I put it right through the middle, and then I usually do a little bit of like end weaving through that stitch as well, and then pull it tight. You want it to be tight enough so that it looks like the top of the other stitches, but not too tight. So it's not perfect, of course, but from the top, it looks to go all the way around. And this is just a beginner sleeve. So from there, you'll weave in the rest of your ends, and then come back in a minute and I'll show you how to put the bow on your cup holder. So I've finished weaving in my ends on my cup sleeve, or whatever we're calling it. And I've pulled out one of my little bows that we made the other day. You can put this either direction on your sleeve. So on my first one, I put it horizontal, but I think it would also be really cute to be like up and down or vertical. So pick whatever direction that you want. It's totally up to you and what you think would look the cutest. And then I cut myself a short piece of yarn that matches my bow. Though honestly, it doesn't really matter because all of your seaming, well, I guess it depends how you're going to attach your bow. So on this one, I only attached underneath the like threaded center part where we wrapped it around. And if that's the case, then it doesn't matter what color yarn you use. So you can match your cup cozy, or you can match your bow, or you can just use a random scrap that you find in your room. But if you decide that you want your bow to be all the way sewed down, so like if you are putting more yarn in the corners to keep it like fully down, then you definitely want yarn that matches your bow. So I basically am going to go inside my coffee sleeve, and I'm going to get my yarn through this like center part. And then once I have my spot down, then I'm going to kind of turn it inside out so that I can, I'm going to say see better, but really you're not going to be able to see that much from either side that you choose. So you kind of like have to peek around if you need to check in. But you can just wrap this a couple times to kind of secure the center, which again is going through that part where we wrapped the yarn around the center of our bow. And if you want, you can also go out from here to secure the edges of your bow. I like it more when it's kind of 3D, but you could definitely like pin it down a little bit. So if you're just doing like me, then all I did was literally just like tied a knot and then trimmed my yarn. You could be like better about how you do it. You can weave in your ends through your bow, whatever you think like will suit your needs the best. If you're selling this, I would probably attach it in a cuter way. But for personal use, it's like all of this ugly part is going to be on the inside, so who cares? But then when you're done, just flip your cup cozy the other direction. Pop it on your coffee cup or your takeaway mug, and it just looks so adorable. And this is a really fun project because you can use technically any of the sizes of bow. I probably wouldn't go bigger than the middle size for myself, but this is totally up to personal preference. It would also look really cute if the bow that you used was the same color as your cup cozy. That would be really cute. So any colors, it's totally up to you. And if you're not really a bow person, then you don't even have to attach it. You could just leave this as a simple sleeve. Once we learn color work in our Newbie series, you might want to make one that's like striped, or you could use some of the yarn that kind of changes colors as you go. It's up to you. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the You Should Craft channel and check out the blog for patterns and tutorials, everything that new crocheters need. But thank you for watching.